I find it difficult to create those dramatic moments. I know you talk about it in the film school, but getting in depth with those people can set your travel plans aside, or especially if you're with a group. And like, I'm always traveling with at least one or two of my buddies, and luckily they are so welcoming to me filming. But how do you balance enjoying the moment and getting those shots that you need? I've done a YouTube video on this, and I have my own opinions, but I wanted to get your thoughts. How do you balance that?
Well, I'll start off by saying that most of the really cool shots in my film were no fun at all to shoot. They were really, really difficult and physically painful, especially those gimbal shots, like long gimbal shots, or shots that are from really crazy angles, or shots that have like really specific timing that's going on, you know, between the camera and the subject.
Which one?
Those kind of shots.
Which one hurt the most?
It's just like shooting. What's that?
Which one hurt the most? Which one was the most intense?
Which one hurt the most? I made a short film called The Hong Kong Tram, about the trams in Hong Kong. And they're these awesome double-decker trams left over from the British colonial era. And yeah, it was just a short film about transportation. But at the end of the film, I have a really long hyperlapse shot that goes through one tram, into another tram, into another tram, through like 15 different trams, and then ends up pulling out of a tram, and you're in the tram factory where they make them and repair them. So that was about a 20-second shot that was comprised of maybe 10 or 15 separate hyperlapse shots. And shooting that required so much gimbal work with the gimbal at the end of a monopod. Like, I was holding it way up above my head.
Oh yeah, your arms were shot.
So it became really heavy. And I actually tore a muscle in my back making that shot.
Oh my God.
And I was injured for about a month.
Wow.
I couldn't bend over, I couldn't move. I was just kind of like, I was semi-immobilized from the waist up.
Hey, you got the shot though.
That, yeah, I mean, the shot turned out cool. I should have used a lighter gimbal and a lighter lens, you know, in retrospect, but I used the gear that I had for it. Wow. But yeah, that was kind of painful.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, and that's something that you talk about all the time, is have a light setup, and that's, I mean, obviously you are a master at gimbal work, and it takes a lot of practice to get where you are, but you also do talk about how if you want to get those smooth, fluid, ghost-like shots, you need to be having a light setup.
Yeah, and it's sort of like dance, where everything looks real gentle and soft when you see like a ballerina dancing around, right? But actually, when you get into the mechanics of what it feels like to do those moves, it's really painful for the dancer, right? So when I'm doing these gimbal moves and I'm trying to have a really smooth start and a smooth stop, because you don't get that automatically from the mechanics of the gimbal tends to be mechanical and jerky when it moves. I have to counteract that with my body and try to add extra movement and extra softness to the way that I move to keep from having a jerky start and a stop to the motion. So that's part of what makes it physically uncomfortable, is creating that soft curve to all the movements just through muscle control, and then letting the gimbal do its stabilization on top of that.
It's one of the biggest problems I have. Yeah, you get that sharp judder. Even when you try and stop or start, it'll have that judder forward, and that's something that you do very well, is keeping it nice and smooth. Well,
audiences expect it to look smooth, right?
Yeah.
They expect it to look perfect. And the moment it doesn't look perfect, it takes the audience out of the film.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to have my camera moves be just absolutely perfectly smooth, because then you stay immersed in what's going on, and you don't start thinking about the mechanical device that's stabilizing those shots. And it's sort of a subconscious thing when you're watching movies, but you know, it's like anything that would take you out of a movie. Bad lighting, bad sound, bad camera work is just one of those things. Yeah.
Do you ever not breathe when you're getting a shot? This is something I do often. Do you ever like hold your breath, like you're gonna miss the moment or that you're gonna move in a certain way?
Yeah, I usually hold my breath. Actually.
Do you recommend
Unless
that?
Unless it's a really long gimbal move. If I'm running, I don't hold my breath because I would pass out. But if I'm just walking a few steps, or especially if I'm doing sort of a closer gimbal shot, I usually hold my breath. And I might slowly do like that pressure breathing, like that Tai Chi thing, like
as you're
like breathing out like that as I move the gimbal forward. And then I just use a whole lot of like counter muscle control to make it like really smooth.
Some hip
with
movement
the motion.
Back and forth. Yeah, that helps.
Rocking back and forth. Yeah, all those body mechanics. And we got a little bit off the topic because you were talking about how to enjoy the enjoy the shoot.
I bounced off.
But yeah, in terms of like, I just wanted to bring that up about like the physical discomfort of my shots, because in general, when I'm shooting a serious project, like one of my one of my flagship short films, as opposed to just like a vlog or something. In general, I don't consider those trips to be vacations. I consider those trips to be a shoot that may have a bit of vacation element to it. You know, I'm going to go around, I'm going to have some fun, but when I'm shooting, I'm shooting. And on the days that I'm shooting, I'm not really sightseeing, I'm shooting.
Yeah.
And I set it up with the seriousness of any other professional shoot that I would do, even if I'm not getting paid. So I will contact people weeks in advance. I'll arrange stuff well in advance. I'll exploit all my contacts to try to get access to something that most people don't get access to film. I'll tell people that I am a filmmaker making a short film. I'm not a vlogger on vacation. I'm not making a vlog. I am making a film, and I want to film this for something that is a serious project. And I try to get the people who help me on the project to see it that way also. And sometimes that helps because it helps people to feel like their time is more justified. When they join me, when they donate and volunteer their time to helping me out, I try to make them feel like they're part of something that's going to be a little bit more evergreen and have a little bit more reach than just a vlog or just a YouTube video.